Another app that has been big talk recently, which I actually am very new to. E actually introduced me to, but is something that's quite addicting and it's very useful. And we've had some great conversations on there, and that is Clubhouse, the app. So E, I'm going to let you kind
hmm
of give us a bit of background on this app because you were the one that actually introduced me to it. So yeah, let me pass it over to you.
Great. I'm terrible at describing this application. But anyway, Clubhouse is a brand new social network that focuses on voice. So most social networks, whether it's be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the way you communicate with other people on the network is through chat. So basically, you can leave a comment on a YouTube video. You can have a discussion thread on Facebook. You've got 240 characters on Twitter to decide, and then you just kind of stack that up.
Mm.
And Instagram, of course, you can leave comments and you can slide into people's DMs over there. But with with Clubhouse is a mixture of a couple of things. It feels like Reddit to a certain degree, and I'll explain that in a second. It also feels like a podcast to a certain degree with that, and it also feels like radio as well because all the communication in Clubhouse is through voice. You When you join Clubhouse, you can either jump into a room, and a room is a discussion platform where somebody has set a topic to discuss,
Mm-hmm.
and people come in to listen, and you can ask questions by raising your hand within the app, giving some time to speak, and you've got moderators who can actually moderate who's talking and things like that. So what it's kind of morphed into from when it started, I really don't know when it started. I got an invite myself, and
Hmm.
what it's morphed into is something that has become very social because of the ability to hear someone speak and clearly express what they're talking about. So
Hmm.
the problem we've always faced on social media is you type something out, it might be a sarcastic joke, or it might be just a sentence. People read that 150 different ways,
Yeah.
it could have been really
Trust
funny,
me, I
and
know.
yeah. So that is clearly taken out in Clubhouse because you can explain something and somebody goes like, okay, well, are you saying this? Like, no, 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 I'm sorry. This is exactly what I mean. You've got that opportunity to talk and express there, and that's one of the biggest things about it. A lot of people have found closer connections and being able to just give clearer definitions of things. And what this has morphed for a lot of us creators is there are a lot of creator rooms that show up on Clubhouse where people are talking about what they do. I mean, Mr. Beast is on there talking
Yeah.
about some of the stuff he's done, how he's grown certain things. Some other big like TikTok influencers talking about how they grew, some of the things they do. Brands are beginning to jump into that.
Hmm.
Some brand managers. One of the coolest ones I listened to was there are two actually. There's a Bitcoin one, and there's one on TikTok and music, talking about how artists are losing recognition because of TikTok. Because once a song goes viral on TikTok, here's the funny part, and it's very true, is I don't know the artist. I just know the song and the dance that goes with it, or at least whatever challenge that goes with it. Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So it's a great place for conversation and learning. And there's varied conversations out there. You can set up a room for
There's pretty much a
anything.
conversation for everything, whether that be politics, religion, work, career, whatever it is. There's conversations, and I think
Yeah.
for me, the couple of things that I've kind of got from it is networking. I think is a key thing here because it's so easy to kind of just jump into a room and start talking to somebody that's in this room, especially if there's a smaller one. If it's quite a big room, it can be, you might come in as a listener. And that's another element that I like of it as well. Because sometimes, I will jump into a room not to kind of be actively involved as a speaker or somebody that's going to be asking questions, but just as somebody who just wants to listen to whatever is being discussed. So I can just leave that on the side. Normally, I'd have like a podcast or something. So it's almost like listening to a podcast. And yeah, it is definitely quite an interesting platform. There's a few things about the platform right now. It is only available on iOS, so you can't get it
Yeah.
on Android. The other thing as well is it's based on an invite system because I think they are trying to manage the amount of demand that they have. So you can't just go in, you have to kind of go into a waiting list. And if you do know somebody that's already on Clubhouse and has an invite, then you can bring them on. And I do think it's, it's the next big thing, and it is something that's picking up very, very fast. And there's, I don't know what the exact numbers right now, but there's lots of people using Clubhouse right now, and there's pretty much something there for everybody. And I do think it's, if somebody is thinking of coming onto Clubhouse, firstly, you should follow myself at SuperSaf, and you should follow Thunder at Board at Work, because we've been hosting a few sessions on there and just having a chat and kind of just giving advice as well to fellow creators and really kind of getting into a conversation. Because one of the things that I find is whenever I'm trying to do say a live stream on Instagram, it gets crazy and there's so many questions, and I've got people saying, oh, I've you didn't answer my question. And I'm like, yeah, but your question came and then 100 others came straight after it. I can't keep up. Whereas in Clubhouse, you raise your hand, you let somebody in, they can ask their question with voice. It's a lot more personal rather than just some text. You can kind of talk about that topic can expand. Now, I do think you need you definitely need a moderator on there, because a lot of times I'll jump into a room and I'll jump out because there'll be somebody going on and on and on about something that's just, completely off topic. And that is something that, I think that's one of the other challenges that you get with an app like Clubhouse, because, some people will, because there's one guy, I jumped into one yesterday and he just was going on about himself, even though this was about a particular topic. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to kind of name and shame, but he was just going on about himself, and then you could tell everybody was kind of like, okay, dude, it's time to move on. We know enough about your background. The initial introduction that you do, and you're like, hey, I'm Saf. I have a YouTube channel and I do lots of content creation across different platforms, and that's it. No, this guy went on for 5 minutes, right? About his whole life history, and it was completely off topic. So that's definitely something that I think needs to be worked on. If you do need some sort of moderator on there, but it's definitely a fun
speaking
app.
of that. Speaking of that, I have an idea I think we should do, especially when it opens up, and I think this would be pretty great, especially since we do live streams, and those are cool. But I really want to do, after a launch of a device, or after we review a device, we can go on Clubhouse and talk about the device, because again, it's going to be very different viewpoints with us talking about it, and also gives people the opportunity to ask questions. We can bring up a few people at a time. Again, we'll get those things structured out, but I really want to get you guys' idea, if you would love to see, come and ask us questions and just sit down and listen to, maybe the next iPhone, like the iPhone 13 or something.
A lot more personal as well, and we'll be doing a lot more. I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to hear the full podcast episode, then that will be linked down below. And if you want to see more clips like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss them. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf Speaks, and I'll see you next time.